Hey folks, Brandon Belisa. Are you living your best life? Welcome to another episode of Success Never Sleeps, sponsored by My Studio, Market Muscles, Kids Love Life Skills, and LC Accounting. Hey, Brandon Belisa here. You living your best life? Welcome. It is 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time here on the West Coast. Welcome to another episode of Success Never Sleeps. I'm broadcasting from the mothership. It's not a green screen, it's a white screen. But we can't broadcast our green screen yet here at Be Live. I don't know why. We can do so many amazing things, but that we can't do. But I love this room because it gives me a lot of room to play. You know me, I can't stand still. So come aboard. Marco, what's happening? Marco, sir, what's up? So as you come aboard, put your name in, share this instantly. You're entered into our drawing to win a $300 prize, which is a 1 hour of consultation with me, Brandon Belisa, the free thinker, the critical thinker, the thought leader. I love to say, what if? What if? That appreciative inquiry where there is no boundaries, there are no limits, there are no excuses, there are no I can'ts. And that's the beautiful thing about when you cultivate ideas. And I saw that yesterday. We all saw that the SpaceX rocket crashed when it came back to the landing pad because it didn't decelerate enough. So it hit that freaking landing pad and exploded. But they were celebrating because I guess this thing went up and they were able to flip this thing and rotate it and do some of the preliminary things they wanted to do. They just miscalculated the deceleration when it came back to the landing pad and this freaking thing exploded. But it was a celebration. And my big aha moment when I saw the SpaceX thing rocket explode was that failure is part of success. Failure is part of that process. And it's such a beautiful thing not to get so hung up on I failed. Don't get hung up on it. Just simply embrace it and continue rocking and rolling. And that's the one thing I love so much about what we're going through right now. In any days, I've failed so much, but I've succeeded a lot in the past 8-9 months. My team and I have been at it, just really doing what we do. So as you come aboard, please put in your name, put in the name of your school, where you're tuning in from, and share this. Share this with as many people as you can. And while we do that, I'd like to first thank my sponsors. It's because of them that we are able to offer you this show every week. And that would be My Studio. I was talking to two last night. We had a really good conversation, and they've put can I say that? Well, they've put a lot of money into My Studio this year, well over 7 figures into My Studio at this point from conception till now. And the product keeps growing and growing and growing. And so I'm very proud of them because it is disruptive thinking. They were one of the first people to have an efficient app-based CRM system for our industry, software for our industry. And I dig the innovators. I dig the disruptors. I dig the critical thinkers. Of course, Market Muscles. If you do have a Market Muscle site, we know Steven is like out there, right? There's nobody even in his league because he doesn't compete with any other web company. He simply does what he does and finds ways to do it better. He's innovative, he's disruptive, and I dig that. I think that's what it takes to keep moving us forward. What I love about both companies, they're rooted passionately in their values, and that's important for me. Kids Love Life Skills, Marco, Amy, Letitia, Ben, Chris, and of course myself. We're cultivating new content, new direction. We're moving to a subscription-based model as of next year. So if you're not teaching character development, then you are just another children's activity. So be very mindful of that. And please, I'm going to call us all out on this. Just because you're a black belt doesn't mean you're qualified to teach life skills. It doesn't mean you're qualified to teach children, any of that. So I'm really find it inspiring when I see people out there getting certifications in child development and things of that nature because we work with kids. I think it's really, really powerful, and it's a good thing. I've witnessed a couple of people doing that, and it might inspire me to want to do the same since I write these life skills. In LC Accounting, Letitia is always on the edge, pushing boundaries, and this pandemic has really taught us that, right? She helped my companies get the PPP and get them forgiven. She got me a $5,000 Facebook grant and a $1,500 ad spend. And we're always on top of our numbers and constantly. They talked about that yesterday in the seminar I took with my studio, was that you've got to know your numbers. Please know your numbers. Cool? All right, we started this yesterday, and we're giving away one of my virtual learning products. And I hope everybody who's here with us right now has gotten this virtual learning product. It is, there it is. There it is. Oh, I'm messing with you, K1. It's a free gift from Brandon to you. And it's amazing because I've gotten, I don't know, maybe a dozen messages going, what's the catch? What's the catch? And I keep telling people there is no catch. They go, there's always a catch. No, there is no catch. It is simply my way of helping the school owners, especially all over the world right now, who are struggling with these new shutdowns, right? And these new stay-at-home orders. And it's going to go on. I don't think this is the beginning of it. I think this thing's going to stretch out for a couple of months, at least until we get these vaccines in and we're coming into spring. So I believe virtual learning is the new frontier. It's a unique opportunity for all of us to develop a new revenue stream, develop a new audience. And if you do it right, if you do it right, because you can do it really well and you can do it very poorly, then you have a unique opportunity to position yourself. So all you got to do is go to brandonbliso.com and look for virtual learning, how to earn 600 online students. And you register and it's yours. That's it. And you get to watch it again and again and again and again. That gift, the opportunity to sign up for it, which you have unlimited viewing, ends tonight at midnight. But there's no strings attached, folks. None. And it just shows me how much distrust, not just our industry, but so many industries, right? You see it, get my free PDF on 10 ways to do this. And then you go there and then they want, your firstborn and they want to know your social security. And then they say, great, we'll give you this PDF, but you got to sign up for 1 month for our newsletter. It just goes through all this stuff. And I think that creates distrust. I was listening to a Gary Vee live at LinkedIn, and he had Barbara Corcoran, who's from the Shark Tank, and she talked about that. More than ever, social media is the medium that is helping people accelerate their brands. Look at Charlie D'Amelio from TikTok. What, a year and a half ago, the girl was nothing. Now she's got 100 million viewers, makes $4 million a year. That's freaking crazy. So social media and the advent of it, if used properly, can really promote that. But Barbara Corcoran really stressed we need to be honest, transparent, and authentic, because people have spent so much time in social media and the internet, they can tell BS a mile away. And that's why I think these guys are running through a garage with Bentleys in the background and blondes in a hot tub, and they're running through their mansion. I think it's a joke. It's a huge joke because it's a facade and it's fake. And most people now are seeing through that. So to be real is what it's all about. I can't be anybody else but me. It takes too much energy to be someone else. So really, when you're cultivating your social media content for your schools, just be honest. It doesn't have to be perfect. The lighting doesn't have to be perfect. Your hair doesn't have to be perfect. What's perfect is your honesty. Honesty, transparency, and authenticity cuts like a freaking knife. Hey, what's up, Jason? Alvin, is it Alvin? Alvin with an O. From Puerto Rico. What's happening? We got Puerto Rico in the house. How cool is that? So how many people have shared this? Have you shared this? Make sure you've shared this. What's up, Jason? And so for everybody on this that's picked up my Christmas gift of virtual learning, how to earn 600 online students, can you promise me you'll do one thing with that? Here's the catch. Pay it forward. Before midnight tonight, give it to as many school owners that can benefit from this, especially the small school owner, that can't afford a lot but need the most help. I've been very big on that this week, and I've publicly announced my purpose is to help the small school owner. It always has been, but now I'm stepping up. And by stepping up, really standing in a new arena is something I've chosen to do. And if you watched my manifesto, my video, I've waited 53 years to say this to the martial arts industry, then those of you who watched it, you understand. So that's what's also inspired to give away this virtual learning, because I need my purpose is to help the small school owner. Because even though the small school owner is the majority in our industry, guess what? As far as being profitable, they are truly the minority. And that's pretty much the way our world is set up, right? The rich control most of the money and they're the smallest percentage of the population. And just imagine for all these big multi-franchise school owners, which only is like 1% of our industry, not much, right? They say 90% is the small school owner. What would happen if the majority, which is the minority of the wealthy school owners, what if that majority was no longer the minority? They became the majority. Imagine if some brand new young school owner can come into a neighborhood and base it upon service, base it upon really strong systems, base it upon a good business plan, a really good brand, right? A brand that creates engagement and connection with their avatar, which is normally a mom, because we teach kids. And they came into that neighborhood and they did not have contracts, upgrades, sales scripts. I think sales scripts promote dishonesty more than anything. More than anything, manipulate the conversation so you can sell. No doesn't mean no. No means maybe. Maybe means yes. Maybe that's why 1% of the population do martial arts, right? We love martial arts. We think it's so great. Well, baseball, soccer, football, basketball, gymnastics, even freaking dance, even these beauty pageants for little girls, they all outpace the martial arts industry, make more money than us, do better than us, yet we believe that we're better. Well, guess what? Most of those industries don't offer contracts. My son does basketball. They have never asked me for a contract and make him sign up for a year. Never, never, ever, never, ever, ever. Swimming, same thing. So I really believe our business model has holes in it, it's weak, and it's outmoded. I really, really believe that. And with that said, I'm standing on this platform and I will sing this song. And if you believe in it and it resonates with you like the ripple effect, start sharing that. Share that video. I've waited 53 years to say this to the martial arts industry. We're pushing like 1.4 thousand views right now. So 1,400. Let's get that out there. Let's get the message and get people thinking. Another thing I shared passionately was that not that we need to be regulated. I think people lost their freaking mind and took it and it got, like anything at social media gets warped and twisted because we hear what we want to hear. And I think that's a big challenge as a human being. It's not about hearing what you want to hear. It's about listening to what's not being said, right? What I'm really sharing is that we are being regulated. Look at the situation we're in right now as martial arts school owners. Are we not being regulated? We are. We're being called a gym and we're being lumped in and being regulated as gyms. That's why, again, please look at the WIN initiative. That's over with Jason Neath and Leon Rogers at Martial Arts Strong. Go to their Facebook page. So we are being regulated. And if we can really establish ourselves, not just locally with our Chamber of Commerce and local government, but really get up there, right? Everyone says, well, you can't do that because you're not the big company with the money for the lobbyists, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, maybe we just stand in front of our local grocery store with a little petition and start there. I don't know. But I do know that I've been in the industry for 20 years now, but I've been a martial artist since the age of 5. My papa's had a school for 53 years, and I've owned commercial martial arts schools for 20 years, that we still remain as 1% of 1%. We still have people look at us when we tell them, hey, I'm a martial arts school owner. Oh, you are, huh? I mean, they don't jump up and go, ooh, you can marry my daughter, right? They don't. So I really want to make that change. I do. At least I do. And Jason, who's here, he's one of my clients. He shared that quite passionately that someone says, wow, you don't run your business like the average person. It's because we have a very unique opportunity. We really do. And with this, everything going on with this pandemic, it's like the Wild West again. Our industry is wide open. We have a unique opportunity to reinvent ourselves and reestablish new ground. So maybe I can't go up there with the big franchises and knock on their doors and say, guys, help out the hoi polloi, the common man. help out the minority who's not making money. Somebody posted that. Well, it's good that they're closing because those bad martial arts schools, hurt us. Well, maybe instead of taking that attitude, we should help. They're not bad martial arts schools. They just haven't been taught how to run a business or do a business plan or service or systems or branding or any of that. Maybe if we can help that minority who is the majority in our industry. So think about that. If the majority of the schools around you are all small school owners, then guess what? They represent in your community what people view as martial arts schools, correct? So I don't necessarily mean regulate like that. What I'm discussing, and I want to be very clear about that, is I think it's amazing when I pull off at a rest stop, I see a McDonald's next to a KFC, next to a Burger King, next to a Taco Bell, all these food, and nobody cares. Nobody's sitting there going, oh, how dare you open in my neighborhood? You dishonored me and my family, and now I'm going to come over there and kick your butt, right? There's none of that stuff. I see people get all bent out of shape when another martial arts school opens up on the same block as you. That's insane. But still, that behavior is practiced. People get their, they get their panties in a wad, and school owners are pissed off when someone opens up near them. And I think, I have a non-compete clause in my school. I don't get it. What a waste of energy and time. And so I'm going to speak out, what I feel about that as well. So, but what I do know is when I pull off at that rest stop, whether it's McDonald's, KFC, Burger King, whatever, they're all governed, hear the word governed, by a certain health code. So I can walk into them and expect a certain level of service because they have, standards of practice, a certain type of food and preparation. I know that hamburger is going to be cooked all the way through because the health codes say you can't serve raw meat, right? On and on and on. And it's not, and they are being regulated. So, to think freedom is free is insane, right? It's my First Amendment. No, it's not. Freedom is not free. All right, please write that down. Freedom is not free. We pay for it with our taxes, our licenses, our payroll taxes, workers' comp. Freedom is not free, right? I own my own business, so nobody tells me what to do. No, the government tells you what to do. And we're witnessing that right now. So I feel at the mercy of that being labeled a gym because I don't believe we're a gym. I believe we're something different. And so to create the dialogue and some set of standards and practices would be great. It would be great. I think it's defeatist to simply say, I don't want Big Brother putting his knee on my neck and telling me what to do. He is telling you what to do. That's why you're closed right now. Okay? And my friend, who's somewhere, I think in Texas or New Mexico, said, you should just stay open and do whatever you want. Not here in California. That would not work with my parents. I think I would lose all my clients if I flatly said, I'm not doing what I'm told. I'm not going to close my business. I'm going to, do whatever I want to do. Me, right? My lead guy, his friend from high school, she was 29 years old. She just died of COVID. This is very real. I don't care what people want to think or believe, right? So as you can see, I'm very passionate about this, and I'm going to continue to sing this song. And if you believe in it, then help me. I can't do this alone. Help me. Go out there and start creating dialogues, start posting. What do you think would be a good set of standards and practices? And through this, we are going to cultivate an organization. It'll probably be nonprofit where people who believe they want to be not policed or governed, but they want to own it. They will step up and say, I want to be part of this organization and I will live up to these standards we collectively put together. Wouldn't that be great? And then through social media, which I've witnessed over the past 9 months with my brand, has blown up, that we can take this small logo that we create, and anytime someone sees it in a school hanging in the window, they're going to know these guys follow these practices, because we will go out to all the moms all over the world and we will say, as a grassroots movement, we're a co-op of martial arts school owners from all over the world, and we hold ourselves to these standards, right? Because that was said to me by one of my good friends who's working on his master's, one of my black belts, and he said, you should start an organization with a set of standards, build up a head of steam, then you can move it up through your chamber of commerce, your local government, and get to, bigger government, right? No, you have to be a company, a big corporation, and pay the lobbyists. I think that changes. That's not necessarily true, right? Me Too. Look at that. Look at Black Lives Matters. I mean, they don't have big lobbyists and big money, right? It's not set up that way. So I truly believe we have a very unique opportunity here. And I'm going to continue to sing that song. Come on, let's talk about the Disruptor Contest. Come on, you guys. I want you to take ownership of this, right? We're giving away $1,200. $1,200, folks. 1,200. Yeah. Yeah. Wear your Disruptor t-shirt, and this is part of creating that consciousness. Tell people how you are a disruptor in your community and how Brandon Beliso has impacted your thinking, your business, personally, professionally, because this is another movement that supports no contracts, service-based, system-driven, contemporary leadership, all of it that we're trying to cultivate. And it is a disruptor, somebody who comes into an industry and creates a new way of thinking to be successful. You all deserve to own a home. You all deserve to have a 401k. You all deserve to go on vacations. You all deserve to put your kids through college. Unfortunately, the majority of our industry, the 90%, have created jobs for themselves, and they're terrible business owners, right? And they're terrible bosses to themselves. So I'm going to continue to be passionate about that, and this Disruptor Contest will help cultivate that. Cool? All right, let's get into some questions, K1. All right, Daniel. What determines whether you hire or fire someone? What makes a good employee and what makes a great employee? You do, sir. Daniel, you do. And I think it begins with defining your purpose. At the top of when we interview somebody, we have right at the top, we are one, a community dedicated to serving you in every moment to live your best life. I actually start with that, right? When I talk to a potential person, I ask them, what do you think that means? What does that mean to you? Right? Because if you say, well, we're really big on teamwork and we speak nicely to each other and we help each other. So, why should I hire you? Oh, because I'm really big on teamwork, sir. And I like to talk respectfully to people. They're going to just spit back what you just said to them. But if you make them, you want to see what type of thinker they are. Put things out there and have discussions. So I think there's certain things you can't teach people. You can't teach people to care. You can assimilate caring through a process or a system that you write, Daniel, but you can't teach people to care. So, but you can bring it out through conversations like that. So our mission statement is live your best life. What does that mean to you? What does living your best life mean to you? Well, man, every Saturday I go to the bar and we get our groove on and we like to drink and smoke. Oh, okay. Thank you very much. Right? Thank you very much. So just by that appreciative inquiry, Daniel, to me is really powerful, where you just say, what if there were two kids right now fighting over some Legos? What would you do? Right? What if? So those type of open-ended questions where you really draw people out is powerful, Daniel, but you really need to decide what is your purpose of your business, your company, why are you here? And that way, like Jim Collins says in a book you should read called Good to Great, you want to get the right people on the bus, Daniel, but you want to get them in the right seat. That's really important. If I want an elephant to fail, tell them to climb a tree. I have people in my organization that only teach kickboxing. That's it. I have people in our organization that only do front desk. My janitor, he would never teach a martial arts class. See, so it's very important to get the right person on the bus, but get them in the right seat. Get them in the right seat. And that's really based upon your values and vision for your company. That's why I'm so passionate about cultivating your why and your purpose. Once that's defined, everything happens around that. So firing somebody, firing is just, it's like any relationship. You might start out in a relationship, Daniel, that works, and then it doesn't work. And then you pivot and you make adjustments. And if that doesn't work, then maybe it is time to part ways. Firing is not a bad thing. It's the same as them quitting, right? People get fired and people quit every day. We make such a big deal out of it. We get butt hurt because this kid grew up with us. He was in our business, blah, blah, blah. You got to stop that. I mean, it's really a waste of time and energy. If you believe you need to leave, then I wish you well. If I believe it's not a good fit anymore, then I wish you well, right? And we should be able to do that without being all freaked out and overwhelmed. But again, because we don't behave like a business, we do get all stressed out. We need to understand it's simply part of it. The growth of a business, if right now, especially during this pandemic, a business that's cutting back, it's just part of that part of it. And you got to be okay with that, Daniel. So define your visions and values, then be very clear. When we talk about A players, B players, C players, you have all of those on your team. What does an A player look like? What are the qualities you want from him, Daniel? Right? And it's all based upon what? The values of your company. Make sense? If I had hypothetically a roller derby team, I want big, strong, aggressive people that are willing to elbow you and knock you down and score goals and things like that, right? If I'm a quilt making business, I'm probably not going to hire some construction worker that doesn't do quilt work. You see? So, I mean, there's really obvious things, Daniel, but the most obvious thing people spend no time on is developing their why, developing their purpose statement, writing out their core values. So I know who I want on my team. And it's not always the person that grew up with you. I have kids that have grown up in my business that are still with us today. And we've imported outside people as well that have been great assets to our company. So I know that's not the answer you may want, Daniel, but I want you to just start thinking. Cool? All right, next question. George, how many hours of sleep do you get? And how many hours do you think one should get in order to be successful in everything that you do? I believe sleep is a waste of time, George. That's it. Sleep is a big, fat waste of time. If I could be awake 24/7, 365, I would. But they say scientifically, and I like data. Data is a good thing, George. They say 7 hours. 7 hours is really good. And I've tried to make a point to do that. I've shared it with a lot of people. I've dropped like 27 pounds. And part of that was my body needs to sleep. I am 58 and sleep is important. So I get about 7 hours a night. But I'm up every morning I'm up at 7:30 consistently. So I make sure to get those 7 hours. That's important to me. And I have found more consistently, I lose no sleep. I had a sleepless night 2 nights ago, but it's only like the second or third one I've had in the past 9 months because my body works hard, my body plays hard, and it understands that, hey, I do this because you're going to put my butt down at 12:30 so I can get 7 hours. So 7 hours. 7 hours is what scientifically I have read is necessary. Little kids growing up are supposed to get like 9 to 10. That's a trip, right? That's a trip. So they grow well. Next question. I haven't had that question in a long time. Yeah, people ask me that a lot because of success never sleeps. Yeah, I don't like sleep. God, we sleep a third of our life. How funky is that? A third of our life. Imagine how much more we could do if we never had to sleep. Isn't that cool? All right, next question. I need a logo for my business. I have some light experience in graphic design. Should I create one myself, use Fiverr, or hire a professional? The tough part about that is it Thailand? Thailand. I'm going to say Thailand. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but if I'm wrong, please, I apologize for that. Thailand, my challenge with Fiverr is nothing I've ever gotten out of Fiverr is very unique. It's always some knockoff of a knockoff of a knockoff. The fonts, the colors, the shapes. I don't know if they go to, some stock place or they're just simply following design 101. So you get what you pay for. And the guy at Fiverr is working on volume because it's so cheap, right? So if I'm going to go to Fiverr, at the point I would talk to somebody at Fiverr, I've pretty much laid out that logo. I know the colors. I just need somebody that can tighten it up and, make it look, add the bells and whistles. Really. But I'll tell you this, you could go to somebody professional and they're going to do a crappy job. I'm going to tell you why, Thailand. You need to come to the plate. Remember, your logo communicates your brand, right? It really does. And people say, well, that's a bunch of crap because, Apple just simply took an apple, but it looked like a strawberry. So they took a bite out of it. So you know it was an apple and didn't look like a strawberry. That's far and few, you guys. Look at the Nike swoosh, with the word Nike. That's very thought out. That's amazing, right? And it has stood the test of time. So I believe your brand is very important. Think how many times companies have rebranded. Google is now Alphabet, right? How many times did McDonald's rebrand the logo? At one point, they were the McDonald's brothers. Then they became McDonald's. Then they became Mickey D's. Then somewhere in there, they were the Golden Arches. Then they were McCafe. And now then they were the Golden Arches, I think, again. And now they're back to being McDonald's, right? That iconic, that was based upon the structure of their original buildings, that archways that make up the M. That's iconic, right? Iconic. When you see that Starbucks logo, right, as freaky as it is with the mermaid, with the, fins and stuff, it's Starbucks. So your logo is very important, sir. Very important. But again, if you don't have a clear idea, you could be spending hordes of money throwing stuff at, we just expect to go to a professional graphic designer and say, create this for me. No, you need to come in with a very clear sense of what are your three main colors, right? Because every good brand has three colors. Mine is red, black, and white. Look at everything I produce. I like that from the old martial arts, but I think we've moved the red, black, and white into a very contemporary scheme, right? Look at everything I do. I mean, look at that, right? Red, black, and white. It's everywhere. Everything we do has that. My website, everything, because I enjoy that being a martial artist. But an example of nothing that's well thought out, if I see another school that has a silhouette of somebody kicking, I'm going to throw up. There's no thought there. There's nothing with purpose or a value. And if I see another school called Family Martial Arts Center, again, I want to throw up. You know why? Because that shows you have put no love, no thought, no vision into your brand, into your why, into your purpose. Because as I shared, that logo, Thailand is just an extension of your brand, right? And that brand is all interwoven into your why and your purpose in life. Super important. Super, super important. And the people that I've worked with here, like Conrad, Respect Martial Arts, Jason, Believe Martial Arts, Marco, Focus Martial Arts, ask them. Don O'Neill, Success Martial Arts, talk to them. They love their freaking brands now, and they can get behind that. And if they can get behind it passionately, it's much easier to inspire your team to get behind that, right? But I'll find it somewhere. I had a school for 9 months when I was 19 years old down in LA. It was called School of Chinese Kenpo. And we didn't have internet. We couldn't do graphic design. We had no Photoshop. We had no Canva, nothing. So it was really, really bad. And I'll find it somewhere, right? Because I must preserve the integrity of my martial arts. No, you need a brand that helps you engage and connect with your parents, with your avatar, right? If your avatar is mixed martial arts, then you should have something UFC-ish, and because it's the biggest brand out there for mixed martial arts, and it has that edge, big bulldog or whatever you want to do, right? I get that. But if you cater to kids and you work with that demographic, then it's something you should examine. And that's why I think a lot of the thought process needs to be reinvented and recreated. And that's why I shared the sets of standards and practices that should govern us. Because if I see a graduation where someone gets on their hands and knees and goes through the gauntlet and you whip my kid with a freaking belt, time's up, pencils down. I've seen people post videos that they're proud. Some guy posted a video of his son, at the last part of his black belt test, and his son might have been 16 or 15, skinny little kid, and 3 men stood around him in a triangle. And they each took turns kicking the shit out of this kid. And he was proud of that. My kid's tough. He can take it. No, what if he would have broke his ribs, right? What if he would have broke his nose? I mean, they were hitting this kid. Or that really sick one. Who has seen the sick video of some guy, it looks like somewhere in the Middle East, and it's a full-grown man, and this little kid can't be more than 8 or maybe 9, and he has on headgear, and he has on gloves, right? This little bitty kid. And this freaking guy is kicking him in the head and punching him in the face and knocking him down. Tell me if you've seen that video. And everybody was appalled, just freaking appalled. Did anyone see that video? Put it in there for me. Put it in there. Who has seen that video of the guy from somewhere? It looks like somewhere in the Middle East, India, Pakistan, somewhere like that. And this full-grown man is punching and kicking the crap out of a little kid with headgear. Anybody see that one? Mm. Thank you, Marco, right? Right. And anyone that's worked with me, if you want to know about that, talk to Marco, Jason, Conrad. It is a process of self-discovery. It is a process of innovation. It's a process. Branding is not just, go to Fiverr and make me a logo. And I think that's one of the big mistakes is people think the brand begins and ends with some cool looking logo. It doesn't. Yeah, Conrad, you've seen it. Really sad. And it makes me sad because you know what? That's representative of our industry, unfortunately. Unfortunately, it is. It is, it is. But imagine if there were a set of standards of practices across the board and some guy like that pulled that behavior and he posted it proudly. That's Conrad. That's the even sadder part. Is he posted that video as if it was a good thing. That's even more sad. That's even more sad. I think maybe martial arts instructors need to go through a psychological background check, right? Something, because that's sad. And he posted that like he was proud of it. And I believe that needs to change. It absolutely needs to change, right? So, Thailand, I mean, that's my mindset about that. Cool? All right, next question. Rebranding. I love branding because it really is that discovery. And when you sit there and have the conversations like I've had with some of the people that are on here, I love it. It's powerful, powerful, powerful. Next question. Brandon, I have followed you all year and your resilience is admirable. What is your motivation? Um, you know, I'm a little bit older, and I hope I say that right. Chandan or Shadan. I don't know if I just my name's Brandon, and people jack up my name all the time, and I'm pretty easy about it. But I really love relationships, so I would love to learn your name properly. So please forgive me if I just cut it up. My motivation, first and foremost, is that I'm past me, right? When I was 20 and 30, everyone was me, 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 me. It's all about me. For me now, it's really the service of helping people live their best life. So whether it is an individual, whether it's a team, whether it's a company, it's very important. Last night I had this conversation with two from my studio, and I told them everybody that I do business with, really, they end up being my friends. I tell people I love them. That's important to me because life is so short. And if I simply have to interact with you because you pay me, that's not a good day for me. So I'm very passionate about relationships. And I believe that's a success of our business. Second, as soon as we came into this pandemic, I shifted my mindset because before the pandemic, I was working 2 hours a week by choice. So I really wasn't in the business other than my weekly meetings with TJ, who runs both locations. I'm raising kids, I was coaching my son's basketball team, and of course, working on my consulting. So as soon as this pandemic hit, my mindset pivoted that we are a brand new business. So why do I say that? Number one, we can't do indoor classes anymore, right? So, oh, wow, that's a big part of your business. So you need to reinvent yourself. We couldn't do after school, we couldn't do birthday parties, and we couldn't do day camps, right? Back in March and April. So we became a brand new business. We became a virtual based business. So I think that was the biggest mindset shift because I saw that if I just sat there on this pity pot of going, poor me, poor me, poor me, both my companies would be gone and bankrupt today. And I will say, if it wasn't for virtual, right? As far as the businesses, I have my own investments, I have my consulting, I have other things. So please be clear about that. I've learned that many, many years ago. This is not my only revenue stream, but it is for many people in my business. And like I said yesterday to TJ, because I don't get to see him, he's at the San Francisco location. I'm here running this one, he's running that one. I said, I love you, sir. And I'm committed. We will not fail. And I just wanted to remind him of that. And like in Apollo 13, failure is not an option. So then if you're not going to fail, then it becomes a matter of how do we make that? So my motivation, first and foremost, is to take care of my team, right? They've been with me 10 years or better is the tenure. I'm not going to fail, because if these businesses were gone, my team would be in a very challenging position. Some of them have only done this for their whole lives. Like TJ, this is all he's ever done. For him to go out into the world and make the kind of money he's making today, and he just bought a home, that would be very challenging. So my goal is to set this up where him and I are profit sharing, and then I move in and retire, and I'm still getting residual income from these schools. So it's a win-win for everybody. So that's my number one motivation, is my team. And of course, my family is my motivation. And then my presence here with you and everybody through social media, I've been a steadfast anchor, a go-to for everybody in this industry before this pandemic, but I've amplified it heavily over the past 9 months. So you are my motivation. My motivation goes way, way beyond me, because that's so small for me at this point in life. And that's why I've chosen to stand up and say, this is what I think we need to do in the martial arts industry. And I know a lot of people are not going to like it. A lot of people are going to be pissed off. It pulls back a lot of covers. But if someone's not willing to step up, then we'll continue to be 1% of 1% of the population will do martial arts. And it'll never reach the masses like it should. Because it trips me out, right? We could have a movie in the martial arts, a martial arts movie like The Karate Kid, right? Takes off, makes millions of dollars. We can have Ninja Turtles. We can have Power Rangers. And these franchises make huge money. Yet, here's the martial arts school owner. That's wrong, folks. It's wrong. So there's a huge gap there. And I'm committed to that. So you guys are my motivation. I want to see everybody who's here make great money, not good money, great money. And I've proven that with 2 locations, $2 million a year. I've proven that the small school owner can make great money and have a 401k and have medical and have retirement and own a home and go on vacations and take care of their team. You can do all of it. You can do all of it. So you're my motivation. And when we live from purpose, I think that's the big thing, Chandan, is that if you live from purpose, you never get tired. I never want to sleep. I always want to help. I could stay here for the next 3 hours, right? And that trips out people. Kayvon said that, man, when we did like It's Time Live Elevate, he says, how do you freaking just go like that? Because when you're living your purpose, the energy, the resources are infinite. And then, of course, my motivation is God. And that's my thing, right? I believe I'm put here to do this. This is my purpose here. I'm here to serve people, help them see the silver lining in the darkness, help them have hope where there is no hope, help them through these dark times right now, and let them know it can't rain all the time. And in the words of Bob Marley, everything's going to be all right. And that's the tip of the iceberg. So my motivation can go on and on. Cool. Next question. Did we cover all those questions? Brandon. I thought that was me, Brandon. All right. Should you register to get my business with any organizations? The Better Business Bureau, the Chamber of Commerce? Does this matter anymore, or just have a good presence on Yelp and Google? Well, that's a really good question, Brandon. And we're always looking at this because organizations can become very outmoded. The Better Business Bureau for us is one of those old organizations that I think has no bearing whatsoever. None whatsoever. And I'm going to say that because we were with them forever and ever. Yelp, we stopped our Yelp just because we needed to cut that. And we wanted to shift our money heavier into Facebook ads and Google. And now we're doing YouTube ads. So for us, our movement away from Yelp was a conscious choice. But did we get some results with Yelp? I was beta testing Yelp. Yelp is here out of San Francisco. So when they started some 20 years ago, whenever they did, we were testing beta products for Yelp. So back then I believed in it. I really got it. And I know I've heard really horror stories about Yelp, that they'll hide your good reviews until you buy their services and things like that. I've never experienced that. Never with Yelp. But I've gone to them and said, this is a bogus review, and they've taken it down. And I've gone and said, this is a bogus review, and they've left it up, right? So I think they're very honest and fair about that with what we do, but we've chosen not to use Yelp right now. But with that said, My feeling about that, Brandon, is it is a form of advertising. If you work with Yelp, it's advertising. If you work with Google, Google AdWords, Google reviews, it's a form of advertising. So I don't want to market one way to 70 people, Brandon. I want to market 70 ways to 70 people. But honestly, when a mom comes in, she doesn't say to me all the time, I saw your reviews at Yelp. I saw them at Google. But we understand that's standard practice, Brandon. You want to build up all of your reviews across the board. They're great to have. It's just one more feather in your cap. And if somebody else can toot your horn, more power to you. So I'm going to double back on your question, Brandon. Why are you asking that question? Are you looking to cultivate a presence in your community? Then if you are, I think that's, you know me, I'm a community-based marketing is huge for me. Huge for me, huge for me. Look what we're doing right now. We have the Millbrae Community Toy Drive. Our council member, three-time former mayor, did her own live at 5 video and walked in here with toys and said thank you to One Martial Arts. So we are involved with the Chamber of Commerce. My wife sits on a lot of the school different boards because that to us is our main demographic, and we have kids in the elementary and junior high school system right now. So that's important to us, right? That's important. Nobody cares what you know, Brandon, until they know that you care. Right? Nobody cares what you know until they know that you care, how the saying goes. So ask yourself, why do you ask that question, right? So let me look at this one more time because sometimes I can see that, K1. Let me see. Should I register? Okay, so does it matter anymore just having good presence? Okay. See, I'm trying to look into your question. Like I was saying earlier, it's not what people say, it's what they don't say. If you're looking for credibility, then I really believe, I learned this from Dwayne Spires a couple years ago in Cozumel. And Dwayne Spires, who's of Mass, Dwayne Spires said, the best way to position yourself is number one, donate money, donate your services, or donate your time. Those three things I think are really vital. And if you're doing it to get more students, then you suck. You need to do it because it's part of your purpose. And living my best life, yes, I will donate my cotton candy machine and show up for movie in the park and dole out cotton candy for free. Yes, I will donate my school as a designated drop-off for them to leave toys. Yes, I will support we supported Gina Pappin and we voted for her. We like Gina, right? So yes, I will do that because I'm a business. I'm part of a community. And I think that's challenging when businesses come in, and we know that with some of the big boys, the franchises, they don't care. They don't care. I don't see them in the parade. I don't see them in movies in the park. I don't see them at the elementary school fairs. I don't see them there. Yet we have that unique opportunity to do that. So if you want to position yourself as a business who cares, you should do that. Should you be with Yelp? Yes. Should you be with Google? Yes. Should you be at Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn? Etsy's blowing up. I don't know what we could do with Etsy. All these different social media platforms are blowing up, especially during this pandemic, because people need a variety of places to hang out. And we understand that social media is it. Gary Vee says it. Barbara Corcoran was singing that song yesterday. So I think if you want to establish your business, social media is number one, especially right now during this pandemic. But once this opens up again, you should be heavy in your community. So I would do all of them. All of them. Seriously, all of them. But do you need to do a paid thing with Yelp? I don't think so. Do you need a paid thing with Google? No, I don't think so. I think you need to establish all of them. Cool? All right, next question. Wow, we're almost done. I love it. I love hanging out with you guys. All right, I'm looking for ways to increase revenue. What are your thoughts on becoming an affiliate of some of the products I use and market them towards our members? An affiliate of some of the products you use. Okay, let me give you my take on that, Phil. I'm a very health conscious person. So I do a bunch of different supplements. I do a bunch of different products, things of that nature, Phil. And I choose not to co-brand with them because I don't want to be a salesman for, some health product and things like that. I don't. I don't. And that's why, even though I might use some other products in our industry, there's only one brand you will see in One Martial Arts, and that's One Martial Arts. Now, for a young brand, a new school owner, to align yourself with Kids Love Life Skills, right? This international character development system used all over the world. Yes. Ask Jason. Jason uses my Kenpo system. Jason uses my Kids Love Life Skills. He uses many of my products, and that has really helped him cultivate his brand. But it fit Jason's value system first. Okay? Here's an example. You go to these shows and you buy this guy's program, you buy that guy's program, you buy this guy's program because it's an impulse buy, you're emotional, they got you hyped up in their talk, you ran to their booth and you bought their product. The challenge is you get back to your school and you realize it doesn't even fit your values. You were just excited and you bought this thing. And then you never implement it. We've all done that at least one time because you didn't come to the plate knowing who you are, what your purpose is, what's your mission, what's your brand, what's your culture, what's your why. Because when I go to these events, I'm very clear. I'm looking for this specific thing to help amplify my why, to help grow my culture, to help fulfill my purpose. Cool? So that's really important to me. So any of these products you want to use and sell, and that's what I'm going to find very challenging about your opening statement, sir, is the first thing you said is you want to increase your revenue, right? Let's rephrase that. Let's say I'm looking to enhance the awareness of my purpose and my brand. What are your thoughts on becoming an affiliate of some of the products I use? Ask yourself that question. And if they align together, then marking them is easy. You have relationships with your members, so it becomes a conversation. Grassroots thing, right? It really is that simple. But I'm going to ask you, are you adding these products to increase your revenue stream? Are you adding these products, sir, because they help grow your why? They help cultivate your culture. Do they do that? And if they do, then they're a natural fit. And I think organically people will talk about it, right? And then, of course, post them at social media, give it away in contests at your different things like Parents' Night Out, Mom and Me Party, things like that. If I'm at a booth and a fair, I might give away these products to create interest, and then people come and buy it from me. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of ways to do that. But again, I think I would rephrase that question. Next question. As a startup business owner, what are the biggest strains and struggles I should prepare for? Santiago, you have chosen to be in the roughest career calling in life. You are a small business owner. And as we've witnessed through this pandemic, who's getting crushed? The small business owner. We are probably in the most volatile industry in the world, just being a small business owner. In good times, 9 out of 10 small businesses fail. So what more now, Santiago? Right? So I think the first thing you need to do is, when we talk about the biggest struggles, is your mindset. Do you have the mindset? Right? Going back to that other question, Brandon, what is your motivation? I'm built for small businesses. My grandmother owned coffee shops in the Tenderloin. I worked in them as a small kid all the way through high school, right? She had one in a bowling alley. So my dad has been a small business owner owning a martial arts school for 53 years. I've owned small businesses since about 22, 23. I owned a DJ company. I had a record deal, I've owned martial arts schools for 20 years now. I am built for this. So when this pandemic happened, it was like another day at the office for me. It's really, I think that your biggest struggle and pitfall is going to be your mindset. And you need to become a generalist, Santiago. If you're great at martial arts and that's all you're great at, you'll fail. I know tons of great martial artists that have failed with their martial arts schools, right? So I recognize it's a mindset. Being a small business owner, I need to become a generalist, Santiago, right? So tell me you've done a business plan, a legit business plan, right? And you flesh that out. Tell me you know what your business is going to look like. What's your projections for year 1, year 2, year 3? Tell me you have enough revenue and savings to cover payroll, expenses, your personal living, all of that for at least 6 months to a year with a small business. Tell me that you have all those things in place, and then I think some of those pitfalls and stuff will be minimal, But it's really a small business is a small business owner takes it's a special breed for those to succeed. And that's why I believe we're still standing, because I know how to run small businesses. I've started small businesses from scratch. And when this pandemic went down, we became a small business starting all over again. Day one. Day one. So if there's one person on that mat, I'm happy as a clam. If there's 20, I'm happy. Right? Remember how we were when we first opened our doors? That one student, yay! It's a mindset. So I think you're going to be your biggest asset, but you're also going to be your biggest pitfall. So that's just a beginning. But tell me you did a business plan. Start there, sir. Next, please. Josh, I am first and foremost a martial artist. I began training in the martial arts at 5 years old in the basement below our flat as a kid in San Francisco. When my dad, with my grandmother's help, bought his first building, we lived above our karate school. So my passion for the martial arts is I'm a lifer. I've done martial arts since I'm 5 years old, and I'm 58 now. So I have a very deep kinship that the two business models, like you said, I mean, listen to your statement, Josh. Bring that back up, K1, because I just want to share that. See, you see the mindset? Was it your passion, or is it a business venture, right? And so the one side, the passionate guy in martial arts is the starving artist who suffers for his art, right? It's almost a romance. And then there's the other guy, it's just a business venture, right? The McDojo, right? The guy with the sales scripts and all that. See, that's our industry in a nutshell, sir. And that's the mindset. And I see it in your question. It's so obvious, Josh. That needs to change. So instead of passion and business venture, how about it become a passionate business venture based upon purpose, based upon why? I think you have a better chance of succeeding, Josh, if you're a smart business person who's very passionate, whose purpose is to make a difference in children's lives or whatever it is in the martial arts that, your demographic that you serve. Everything's proven data-wise through any kind of pandemic, mortgage crisis, .com, 9/11. The purpose-driven companies are sustainable and growth-oriented. The strictly business venture, just to make money, those are the people folding left and right. And of course, the starving artist that has never had any business sense, any systems, any processes, any vision for what my business is going to look like in 3 years, no branding experience, nothing. He's close to right now. He's part of that 40% of the martial arts industry that's currently, their schools are closing left and right. Yeah. Yep. So it's always been a passionate business venture. Anything I've ever done, I do because I love, but I do it smart and I do it right. So be very mindful of that. And because I love it so much, I'm so passionate about it. If I lack a skill set, I learn it, right? I know Canva inside and out. And Canva is probably the premier platform for designing all of your graphic stuff, right? And K1 showed it to me, and the day was done. And I know Canva really well now. See? So it's that simple. I understand to be a successful small business owner, I better know graphic arts. Otherwise, I'm at the mercy of a Fiverr guy or some really expensive, freaking graphic artists. And so I'm big on design. I'm big on stuff. We do our own commercials in-house because right now the thing we've learned is that speed is of the essence. We need to move quickly. And we've got that new piece. K1, do you have that new commercial we just did that's running? Because with the virtual running really, really hard for us right now, we cut this new piece, and I want to compliment K1 for that. I shared with him speed. So we got some information from the YouTube guy that we're working with to do our YouTube ads. And he sat there and said, this is kind of the piece that we need. We find this tests really well. And I'm not going to use somebody's stock jacked. Because like Barbara Corcoran said, you need to be authentic. You need to be honest and transparent. And I think there's a huge disconnect when I see the slow motion video of some, all this perfectly produced thing, and then I come to your school and it's some guy with a mullet and he's in a strip mall. I'm going, well, time's up, pencils down. Where's the 6'5" guy with the blue eyes and the six-pack abs? And the gym looked like the freaking, pagoda in the Matrix when Keanu Reeves was fighting Lawrence Fishburne. Where is that? I don't see any of that here, right? And that's what really bothers me about marketers. Well, this image tests really well. Remember when the kid with the spiky hair, the little Asian kid with the spiky hair doing this? I saw that in Germany. I saw that everywhere. Talk about lack of originality. Talk about lack of creativity. Talk about lack of putting any effort into your business. I think it's really poor. Poor. Do we have that commercial? Yeah, we're going to show this to you really quick. Check this out. Make sure you got sound, K1. Oh, I've got to run it, right? Okay.
Hey, folks. If you're a parent like me, you'd have to admit some of this online learning is really challenging for our kids, right? Then let us give your child the virtual focus, the virtual discipline, and the virtual confidence they need to succeed with all of their online learning. My team and I, we're committed and passionate about virtual, and over 600 families come to us so that we can help their child be resilient and adaptable in this world. So click on the offer below, and let's help our kids succeed with all of their online learning.
Cool, right? And again, I want to thank K1 for that, because we had this discussion yesterday. I blew in here and we shot that video, and then we used the other footage and combined them. And by 8 o'clock last night, K1 had a new video. See, we should all be doing that. And K1 uses Filmora. Marco, who works with us in Kids Love Life Skills, it's the same thing. I'm an idea guy. I'm a creative guy. I cannot do this alone. I have an idea, it works really well, and then people help me bring it to fruition. So my brand is very important to me, and yours should be too. And that's why now we've all become not jack of all trades and a master of none. No, we've really become well-rounded, well-versed. We often heard that term, I'm well-versed. And we should all be well-versed at Canva, so you can do a flyer really quickly, at Filmora. My iPhone, the camera on this iPhone is better than most professional cameras. So I can shoot with this now and do really, really well. Because we understand content is what drives businesses. Content is what makes money. I can't keep putting up $19.99 for 3 classes in boxing gloves. No, I need to get in there and show them an expert on a jab cross, right? And help people become better people and cultivate that tribe, earn people's trust. And once I do that, then I can say, yeah, here's a special. But if all I see in your Facebook ad feed is buy, I'm done. I'm out. And that's why it's so not amazing, but it is amazing that we're giving away this free product, right? Virtual learning, how to earn 600 students online. And everyone's going, well, what's your angle, man? What's the trick here? What's going on? And that's what social media has cultivated. So we're also fighting that because of these marketing guys who play the numbers game. Numbers. They don't give a crap about your brand or your purpose or why. They simply want to say, I get you leads. And you've heard me say it, and I'll say it again. I don't want leads. I don't want trials. I don't even want members. You know what I want? Relationships. And everybody who's on here that knows me, I've spent a lot of time investing in relationships with you before you ever gave me a dime. Is that true or not true? So I hope I can inspire you to do the same. Cool? All right. Did I cover all the questions? Did we get all of them? How have you pivoted to keep your team meetings and training a part of the new norm? Because we're moving with such speed, I'm going to tell you, Jason, my team are rock stars. So our conversations are through Slack. If I need a core meeting, then we'll pull one through Zoom. But honestly, I will gratefully say what I've really learned about the culture and team we've created. We have this synergy, Jason, where they literally are 3 steps ahead of me in some ways. They bring ideas to the table. They implement things. And you know what they do really, really well is they let me run. They may not always believe in it, but they let me run with my ideas. And if the idea falls flat, then we learn from the mistakes. And that's why I shared that about the SpaceX yesterday, right? So many people went, oh, it failed. The rocket exploded when it landed back, right? And they're all applauding the good things that happened, right? Oh, we got to reduce the deceleration so it doesn't land that quickly. They were so excited in the mistakes that they made. So I think that's what's unique about our team. So I know there's the real militant business out there. Every Monday, 3-hour staff training, 3-hour. I guarantee you, I ask everybody here, how many of you like to sit through a 3-hour staff training every Monday? No, no, and no. Again, I think that's outmoded leadership. It's the old dog, and one day it won't even exist. I do believe in quick 5-minute power meetings, and that happens with a on-site owner who's very aware, who's looking at social media, those different things. So when you see something they do well, you praise it. And if they don't do well, then you make course correction. But I don't believe that team meetings are necessary. I don't. I believe short meetings are necessary. I believe staying engaged and connected with your team. But you know what, for us, Jason, and I'm going to say this wholeheartedly, the average tenure has been 10 years or longer. My team is a well-oiled machine. We just simply moved from live classes to virtual and outdoors. And then they turn to me, well, what's happening here? What's the camera? What's the angle? What are we doing? Bam, bam, bam. And then, of course, I'll pipe in. I'll watch my kids doing a class. I'll hop in and audit this class on the fly, those types of different things. But I don't believe the old mentality of 3-hour team trainings every Monday, plus a workout. I don't think it's necessary anymore. I think a very focused, condensed, precise interaction is needed, but not the traditional one. So that's how we do it. It's really, Jason, part of our culture, part of our systems, part of our processes. And they're as needed, because if I'm always big brother policing my team, then they never build the confidence to act independently. And I need them to act independently because I can't do this alone. So I think that's powerful too, is to see them initiate things because they know they have carte blanche, because we've laid that foundation already, Jason. But believe me, if we need to call a core meeting, right, to check in because someone's going, hey man, I don't know what's going on. Okay, great, right? No news is bad news. And if no one's going, hey, I need a core meeting, I don't know what's going on, everyone's doing stuff different because of this pandemic, then we'll initiate one. I consider that initiation. But overall, I can proudly say, we're rocking it. Cool? All right. Yeah, I love Slack. Slack is great. And Slack just got bought up by who? Salesforce? Yeah, Slack is awesome. Use Slack, everybody, if you're not using Slack. That's an example of leveraging technology and utilizing it for your business. Cool? All right. So I hope you shared this with everybody. Did you guys do that? Did you share today's broadcast? Please do so, and do share. I've waited 53 years to say this to the industry. If you believe in my movement and you want to be part of it, fine. If you don't, I still love you, and we'll still continue to do the work we do together. As I was sharing with Tu last night, this is my plight, and I don't want to put anybody in harm's way. And my wife said that, just don't post our address anywhere. And she knows me. This is just who I am. I look to improve things, and sometimes improving things is willing to admit. My papa would say that, if I needed to improve something, we have to point out what needs to be improved. You can't just sit there and go, yay, everything's roses and sunshine. No, I've got to be willing to say, the majority of tournaments suck. I go there all day long. The judging's inadequate, and you make me judge and work for free and give me a hot dog and a bottle of water. Who's willing to say that about the majority of tournaments? I will, right? Who's willing to do that? Right? I am. Who's willing to say that contracts are maybe, this is the reason why 1% of 1% of the population does martial arts? I am, but I don't want to put anybody else in that path. This is my choice. This is what I'm choosing to do. And that's fundamentally what I was sharing with Tu last night, who's one of my brothers, my confidants, and I've learned so much from Tu and who he is. Cool? So share that of course, our virtual, for the people, I see a lot of new people watching, is we are giving away virtual learning, how to earn 600 students online. I think it's very timely. With all the shutdowns around the world, we need to improve our virtual game. I believe it's going to be a revenue stream that'll be here forever. There are no strings attached. Zero. It's just my gift to you. You don't have to jump through hoops. Just go to brandonbliso.com and you have access to it forever. But you got to do before midnight. Now, more than that, I'm asking everybody to pay it forward. Share it with somebody. Give it to them and help other small schoolers out there that are really struggling right now. Cool? All right. All right. So who wins today? The free coaching call with me, Brandon Beliso, right? It's an hour valued at $300. We just chop it up. Who's today's winner, K1? Oh, Alvin. I know I'm not saying that right. Adorno from Puerto Rico. Alvin, are you still here, sir? Put it in there if you're still with us, Alvin, sir. I know I saw you in the beginning. I hope you're still with us, sir. And put it in there. Everybody, we always congratulate. We want to celebrate other people's success. And I do that automatically. Otherwise, I can be envious and jealous, right? I don't want to spend my energy with that. So celebrate. Let's celebrate Master Adorno's win today. Let's celebrate, 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 right? Take advantage of it, especially with the new year coming up. Cool. All right. So I want to thank my sponsors, my studio, Market Muscles, Kids Love Life Skills, LC Accounting. Thank you so much. You're disruptors, you're innovators, you're forward thinkers, and I'm going to say free thinkers. A free thinker is willing to go out there and get egg on his face and make mistakes and be ridiculed and be criticized and be put down, because free is not free. And if I'm going to stand up here and sing my song, then I'm putting myself in the line of fire, and I'm cool with that. I'm totally cool with that. But we have to be willing, if we're going to grow our businesses, to have a different mindset shift. All right? It's super important. So if you're here, Master Adorno, say, yay for me. And then we'll connect with them. Hey, Svetlana, I didn't know you were there. Cool, cool, cool. All right, so share this broadcast. Share, please. It's going to be gone at midnight tonight. Please share that with people and let them know there's no strings attached. People are freaking out. I've gotten messages and it trips me out because, maybe that's why I'm here today. Just to tell you that people are givers. People can do things for you. I'm writing the support materials for service right now. And somebody said, service is love in action. Service is love in action. I like that. I might have to add that into our service support materials that I'm writing for one of our new badges, which is service. Service is love in action. That's kind of cool, right? So, hey, big hand for K1, who sits there at the board and pops in all these graphics and does his thing. Yay, yay, yay. Thank you to you, everybody, for being here today. I'm grateful as always. This is Success Never Sleeps. I am Brandon Beliso, and until we talk again, you go out there and live your best life.
Hey folks, Brandon Beliso. Are you living your best life? Welcome to another episode of Success Never Sleeps, sponsored by my studio, Market Muscles, Kids Love Life Skills, and LC Accounting.